Here we go. Let's talk Brian Gutekunst, Packers general manager. I think he's still at the podium at Lambeau Field, but we've got some pieces of audio and some pieces of. We will read you some quotes because we don't have everything quite yet to play for you here today. But it sounds exactly like what we expected, Josh. To be really honest with you. Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst asked about his comment from last offseason when he said it's time we start competing for championships around here. That's the expectation. We need some urgency. About 54 weeks ago, he said that. He was asked about that today. Here is his comments on the expectations entering 2026.
Yeah, like I said, I think there, in every NFL season, there's successes, there's disappointments. We have one goal here, and we never run from it. We're here to win championships, and I think this team is capable of that. 2026 will be a different team, but the expectations won't change. Again, I thought there were some really good things during the season. There also were some major disappointments, but I really do like the guys we have in that locker room, the guys that are coming back, and we'll continue to add to that. And again, I think we're all excited to get at it.
So there's Brian Gutekunst, virtually saying nothing.
You could just copy and paste that.
Yeah, was that this year or last year?
Right.
Now, Hunter may have accidentally played last year. So
I do have the video now. It just, of course, took forever to actually download, and it is the one from today.
Clothes?
Okay. Yes.
But again, there's no way to know, really.
Well, the lighting's a little bit better in there.
A little more sunny on the 5th floor.
Yeah, I think he got a haircut, maybe.
His hair always looks the same, actually. I can't tell.
Maybe it's his skin tone.
But anyway,
Cabo.
The point we are making ultimately is it's the same thing he says every year. Right? The expectations to win championships. He likes the guys in the room, yada, yada, yada. Here's some other things he says every year. Brian Gutekunst was asked about guys that could or could not be back. Okay? This is
there's a phrase, take it with a grain of salt. Take anything he says about anybody being back with the utmost, largest grain of salt ever.
Aaron Jones is the best example of this, right? When he said, he had a great season, we expect to have him back. He then signed Josh Jacobs and released Aaron Jones. It's February. He's not being honest about this. It's just what Goody does because he probably hasn't even made up his mind on a lot of these yet. Okay? Gutekunst says, this is from Matt Schneidman of The Athletic. Gutekunst says he expects Aaron Banks and Nate Hobbs back since they're under contract for next season. When asked about Rashan Gary, Gutekunst sticks to the company line of, quote, we expect everyone under contract to be back, end quote. Acknowledges the different levels of production from first half to second half of season with Gary. Of those three guys, one of them back maybe, Joshy? Maybe two? Banks, Hobbs, Gary?
I think two. I think both those guys are there. I've said this before. I said it during the season. The Packers have to learn their lessons the hard way. So the two guys that were signed, he ain't quitting on. It looks bad on him.
Banks and Hobbs, yeah.
Yeah. If Rashan Gary comes back, I think we need to take the show to Green Bay for the first training camp and pick it outside practice. That's how dire things got at that for him during the course of the season. It's unimaginable for me to have him back under what it would cost to have him back, even at a lesser deal. Sayonara.
You know what's going to happen here, Josh. They're going to bring him back. He's going to do nothing the 4 weeks that Micah's out. And then he's going to end up with a 10-sack season because Micah will be back and he's going to get freebies. And then they're going to sign him to an extension.
Okay, well, that's a step too far because that'd be a third contract and they don't do that.
That would be my hell.
Yeah, which is why it'd be so funny.
But prior to the contract extension, I think you're spot on. I actually think that there's a very good chance exactly what you just said happens. He goes to the Pro Bowl again. People start changing their mind on him. I don't like that. I don't like it, but I also don't hate that prediction.
It'll be my life's goal then to share every time he was just jogging as a quarterback ran away from him.
Right.
In a playoff game, mind you, that also happened.
All right, let's get angry for a moment. 2 quotes about special teams. You ready?
Jeez.
This one first from Jason Hirschhorn. Quote, I really think the last 4 or 5 years, we've probably put more of an emphasis on it being special teams than we ever have, end quote. That from Brian Gutekunst goes on to say, quote, I have a lot of faith in Rich, that's Bisaccia, and what we're doing there, end quote. Are we watching the same thing, man?
No, that's him lying to us.
I really think over the last 4 or 5 years, we've probably put more of an emphasis on it than we ever have. What the hell's that mean?
It means nothing.
You're the worst in the league the last 4 or 5 years. The worst. Number 32.
Yeah.
You're the worst team in the league in special teams the last 5 years.
Yeah, it means we know you see it, we see it too, but we're not going to change it because we believe in our process. That's what that means.
You said it before. The Packers always have to learn their lesson the hard way. Mm-hmm. You just said it a few minutes ago. This is the exact definition of that.
Oh, yeah.
What's the definition of insanity?
It's not what everyone says it is.
Huh?
That phrase annoys me because it's not real. It's just
because the definition of insanity is actually not doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results?
Yeah.
No, it is not the literal definition of insanity. That bothers you?
Yes.
You're a weird individual.
I think people use it too much.
Sorry, won't happen again.
Well, especially now when you actually Google the definition of insanity, I can see why Josh would feel that way. I'm kind of on Josh's side here. I'm not the word person, so I'll let Will look it up, and he can use that as another one. But
we could keep that one out.
We got enough words today.
Dr. Denver Dan, when I said, hey, we're ready to talk about special teams, he said, sure, let's ruin my day.
Yeah.
Or was that about the comment above it? Because there was a string of comments there about Jonathan Gannon here that were great.
Rashan Gary. I mean, it's all irritating, right? Because the thing is, Goody, number one, isn't going to be completely honest about roster decisions that still have to be made. He never has been. He never will be. That's okay. And again, it could be a portion of that could be he honestly doesn't know what he's going to do with Rashan Gary, Nate Hobbs, and Aaron Banks. He might not. He might have no clue what he's going to do this offseason because it depends on free agent availability. It depends what he does in the draft, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he may not have made decisions on those guys yet. Now, expecting him to say, hey, yeah, I think we'll probably move on from Rashan Gary, it's just not going to happen. He's not going to say that. Now, when it comes to the Rich Bisaccia and special teams thing, great. I'm glad you put an emphasis on it. The bad news is, Brian, it didn't work.
Yeah. It's been a failure.
And I guess I obviously the journalists in that room are not going to talk to Brian Gutekunst the way we are talking about his comments. But I hope to God, and I'm not watching it, and I haven't listened to any of it. I've just been trying to follow it on Twitter as we're on the air here because he went on the podium the same time we signed on. I hope somebody said the emphasis is great, Brian, in a much less direct way, in a less combative way. Mm-hmm. The emphasis is great, but you rank dead last in the NFL for EPA in special teams over the course of the last 7 seasons, which is the entire tenure of Matt LaFleur. Mm-hmm. Special teams has been the worst in the league. The worst. Number 32. So if you're putting such an emphasis on it, why isn't it working?
Yeah, I think the honest answer is they aren't putting that much of an emphasis on it other than the Rich Bisaccia portion. They don't hold roster spots for guys hardly or rarely do for guys who are actually difference makers. We haven't had they fell ass backwards into Keyshawn Nixon, who when he was originally with Rich Bisaccia and the Raiders, he never even returned kicks. And then they discovered that, and that ended up being an advantage. Since that point, it's just been throw guys back there and hope for the best, and it hasn't worked. Do I think they're going to then go out of their way to make sure guys can do that? No, I don't. I don't think they're going to change anything. I think this is their way of telling us, suck it up. This is how things go. And maybe we'll get lucky and has something miraculous will happen, but the evidence tells us that it's it is what it is. It isn't going to change, and complaining about it only gets us so far.
Want to keep getting angry?
Oh, no.
Just saw another new one.
Cornerback room?
That's the one. Matt
Hey.
Schneidman. Gutekunst says Keyshawn Nixon had a, quote, very, very good year, end quote. Doesn't think cornerback needs wholesale changes, but wants to improve depth at the position. Not from Matt Schneidman of The Athletic.
That's Pro Bowler Keyshawn Nixon to you, pal.
Yep.
Well, come on, dude. I mean,
He's objectively correct.
did he have a very, very good year? I don't think that's objectively correct.
Well, he's one of the best in the league. He made the Pro Bowl.
If he said, I think he had a Pro Bowl season, that would be objectively correct.
I guess also, what are you looking for him to do? Tell the guys that he needs next year that they suck?
No, and I guess wholesale changes is strong because I would expect at the very minimum Nixon and Valentine are back.
Yes.
Definitely Valentine, and I would assume Nixon as well, who wants a raise, is my understanding. But you need...
All that extension.
So I guess to say he wants to improve the depth is fine because you had none. Bo Melton was your depth. You had a wide receiver as your depth at cornerback. So sure, that's fine. He had a very, very good year. Wholesale changes are strong, and I don't think a general manager will ever admit that. And he's really only done that once, I think, in his tenure in terms of a position group, and that was safety 2 years ago, where it was no longer Darnell Savage and Jonathan Owens. It was then Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams as a rookie and Javon Bullard.
Did we see this quote directly on Rashan Gary?
If it's not the one about, no, I didn't see it.
I thought he started out really, really strong. Obviously, he had a lot of production early. I think he ended up with 60-some pressures and 7.5 sacks. It's pretty good production in the NFL.
It's fine.
Now split the season in half.
Notes it was not a strong finish for Gary, though.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't. He's right.
It wasn't a strong start.
It was. He led the league in sacks for 3 weeks.
He got cleanup sacks.
He was on pace to break the record.
He was at one point. You're right.
Through like 4 games.
It's a great point by you, Will.
He had one of the single best pass rushers in the league doing all the work.
Right, but he was in good shape.
And then after those 3 games, Micah Parsons still played for much of the season. It was pretty late, actually, during the course of the season when he went out. And then he became an absolute zero while Micah Parsons was still on the field. And then he lost the snaps to J.J. Enigbare. Not a big snap count guy.
Rich Bisaccia's impact on the Packers. Quote, I've got a lot of faith in Rich and his staff and what they do around here. Not only the X's and O's, but what they bring culturally to the staff.
Vibes guy.
When Jason and Rob told you that they thought he was important to the culture, that is the team message sent. We need to tell everybody this. It's not working. No one believes it, nor do they think the culture in Green Bay right now is worth preserving and keeping the way it is. I do believe that players probably like him. I don't know if he's good at scheming up special teams or having his guys prepared for all the intricacies of it. That, to me, seems obvious. I think any denial of that would be... You notice how quickly they pivot to culture. You throw out the, he's good at what he does, but guess what? He's culture also.
Mm-hmm.
Culture coordinator.
Yeah. Isn't there a thing on the internet about, there's people who are culture hires?
He's like a bench coach in the MLB.
Yeah, personality hires.
He's a personality hire.
We accused
We don't
Stroh
really
of
give
that
a
for
bleep what he
years in
does.
Madison.
That's true. I still get accused of that. Yeah.
The production isn't there, nor does he provide much in terms of wins and losses or profitability, but guess what? People like him.
And apparently that's enough to pay him $2 million a year.
He's probably making more than that by now, if we're being honest.
So that's pretty much the highlights / lowlights of Brian Gutekunst. Talking to the media today for the first time since the Micah Parsons trade. I actually thought today was going to make me feel better about where the Packers were headed. It made me feel worse.
I mean, what are you doing?
Okay, so what were you expecting out of this then? Because he played the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And I guess I was expecting some
I wonder what
urgency that he asked for a year ago, and it just doesn't sound like there is any.
I wonder what it would be like to go through life a day like you.
What do you mean? It's awesome. My life rocks.
Hang on, Josh.
I live the best life.
Wait, Josh, before you finish this, please remember that you still have to live a life like Will. So do you want to question what life like another person on this show is like?
Good point by Hunter. That's a good point by Hunter.
No, what I'm questioning is to wake up and to delude yourself every day that it's sunshine, rainbows, and kittens. Everybody loves me. Everybody thinks I'm funny, and everybody's going to say all the things I like. That's what I want to know what it's like.
I don't think everybody thinks I'm funny.
Josh, who would you rather spend a weekend with, me or Strofe?
Oh, it's you, I think. I don't know that it's particularly close.
Yeah, it'd be a lot.
It is a lot. We'll spend some good time with me outside work.
I would need like to just lock myself in the bathroom for an hour just to get a breather.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
A lot of questions.
Although I will say this, I'm pretty.
Hey, Josh, how'd you sleep?
I'm pretty calm on the weekend.
What'd you dream about?
Yeah,
I would ask you that.
Yeah,
I would ask you.
See, and
Was I in your dreams?
That would grate on me after long enough. It already does. And we have designated separation time every day.
It's designated separation time. So hold on. To answer your question, to live life like me, it's not. I don't wake up and it's rainbows and kittens and butterflies, and everybody thinks I'm handsome and funny.
Do you have like a note on your mirror when you wake up and you're like, Brian Gutekunst is going to be good today?
If there's anybody who never needs self-affirmation Post-it notes, it's you. Those are naturally occurring.
Yeah, that just happens. I'm just always in a good mood.
Yeah.
Now,
like, I see you being somebody who finds a nickel on the street and be like, yes, it's my day. While the rest of us just keep walking.
it would take at least a dime.
Okay.
Yeah. At least a dime.
You're a little greedy.
I'm not a big
You're a
nickel
financial
guy.
boon.
Financial boon. Yeah.
Still not there.
No, I don't wake up like that, Josh. I'll just say this.
It's a routine.
I really do believe this can be a good football team.
I do too.
But the issue is, this is the guy that talked about urgency a year ago. And through, it seemed, about 40 minutes or so at the podium, the things I've read so far, and again, I didn't watch the whole thing, and I'll go back and watch most of it. But the little bit I've read so far, Josh, it doesn't seem like he's spouting urgency and championship expectations.
Yeah, but we going through this. What is he going to do? Tell you that people sucked? And then
I think we could all agree it wasn't good enough.
You could overall just say that the standard was not met. You
Right.
need to raise the
I
standard.
think he probably did do that in the beginning part where he said, you know what the standard is, and that's Super Bowls, and that whole that's him gesturing towards that. The fact that you thought something like monumental was going to happen, he's like, Rashan Gary's cut. We're going to do everything we
I
did.
didn't expect
I
that.
mean, Micah Parsons was a trade. That to me is once you pull that lever,
Sure. That's urgency.
it's hard to be more urgent than that.
Sure.
A thing the Packers had historically never done that was give up first-round assets. They gave up 2 of them. And then a franchise, I don't know if he's a legend, but a certain Packers Hall of Famer. And they went out and got him. He's probably looking around and going, I don't know how much more I can do.
He's got to reinvent. I guess I can't say reinvent. But he's got to do a lot at 3 different position groups this offseason. Specifically, the entire offensive line and its depth.
Here's what I could tell you. If I'm reading between the lines, there ain't a lot of reinvention coming to that cornerback room. There's probably going to be a draft pick thrown at it.
Good.
And
I'm fine with that.
But that draft pick could be a starter day one, or could be a guy who sees 100 snaps all season.
And that's where we have a problem.
Yeah.